Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a story that's all about business, ethics, and, well, the temptation of a really dangerous shortcut. It's a fable centered on a delicious plate of biryani and the two very different men who are selling it. So let's meet our two main players. In one corner, you've got Bittoo, this honest-to-goodness businessman who everyone in the village loves. And in the other corner, there's Meetha. This guy is just eaten up with envy, and he figures the fastest way to get what Bittoo has is to, well, basically just copy him, but skip all the hard work and good character stuff. So let's set the scene. Our story really kicks off when Meetha, just simmering with jealousy, decides to open his own biryani stall. And where does he set up shop? Right next to Bittoo's, of course. He's selling the same product, but with a completely, and I mean completely, different philosophy. So it's his very first day in business, right? A potential customer walks up. It's a simple, totally reasonable request. This is his big chance, to make that crucial first impression and get his business started on the right foot. But instead of making the sale, he just unloads on the guy with pure contempt. With that one single sentence, he tells you everything you need to know about his whole approach. He's rude, he's dismissive, and he has absolutely zero business sense. He turns away his first customer and any hope of building some goodwill. And this right here shows you the huge difference between these two guys. When a customer questions his super high price, Meetha insults them and his competitor. Meanwhile, what's Bittoo's reaction when he hears about his new rival? He wishes him well. You see, one guy is driven by anger and the idea that there's not enough to go around, while the other is driven by grace and abundance. So with a business plan that's basically built on insults and envy, it's really no surprise what happens next. Meetha's stall is, well, it's a guaranteed recipe for failure. So at the end of his first stay, after driving away pretty much every person who approached him, Meetha's grand total for sales is a big fat zero. Not a single plate sold. He has to pack up his entire unsold pot of biryani and just go home defeated. So you'd think he'd do a little self-reflection, right? Ask himself, what did I do wrong? Nope, not a chance. Instead of looking at his own terrible attitude, he goes straight home and blames his wife, telling her her cooking must be the problem. He just can't face his own failure, so he creates a fight at home instead. Okay, so plan A was a total disaster. What's plan B? Well, it follows that classic villain playbook. If you can't build yourself up with honest work, you try to tear your competitor down with deceit. Meetha's first attempt at sabotage, which is actually his wife's idea, is to just ruin Bittoo's product. He sneaks over and dumps a bunch of sugar into the biryani. But the plan backfires, big time. Instead of ruining it, the customers find the new taste unique and delicious. They start calling it magical. His attempt to hurt Bittoo only ends up making him even more popular. So frustrated, Meetha and his friend cook up a much nastier plan. They're done trying to mess with the food. Now they're going after Bittoo himself. The idea is simple, but it's pure poison. Spread a vicious lie that Bittoo uses tainted meat and destroy the community's trust in him for good. And you know what? At first, the slander actually works. An angry mob shows up at Bittoo's stall, accusing him of deception and threatening the very livelihood he'd built on honesty and quality. But here's the thing about lies. They don't hold up well against the simple truth. Bittoo calmly leads the villagers to his farm, where they can see his healthy, live chickens with their own eyes. The rumor is instantly debunked, and the mob, now realizing they've been played, turns its anger right back at Meetha, warning him to cut it out. So let's take stock here. He's failed at running a business. He's failed at sabotage. He's been kicked out of his own house by his wife. Meetha is at rock bottom, left with his unsold pot of biryani and a giant pile of failure. And it's right then, at his lowest moment, that a shortcut just appears. He runs into this traveling healer, a hakim, who offers him a solution, a magical potion. Now, this isn't about improving his recipe or being a better person. No, this is about faking it. It's the ultimate promise of getting the reward without doing any of the actual work. Now, this potion comes with some very specific rules. One drop creates a smell that no one can resist. Another drop will magically refill an empty pot. But, and this is the big one, the crucial catch, the magic only lasts until evening. So now Meetha has this magic bottle, and he finally gets a taste of success. But for a guy like him, a little taste is never, ever enough. It quickly spirals into this out-of-control, all-consuming overdose of greed. And the results? They are immediate and absolutely staggering. The irresistible smell draws huge crowds, and using the potion to refill his pot, he sells 6 full pots of biryani in a single day. Oh, and he jacks up the price to 500 rupees a plate. But for a person like Meetha, enough just isn't in his vocabulary. He starts thinking, hey, if one drop is this good, why not use more? He decides he's just going to break the Hakim's simple rule, convinced that more magic will bring him even greater wealth. And then, in a moment of just pure, careless greed, his plan goes way beyond his control. As he's daydreaming about all his future riches, he accidentally spills the entire bottle of potion right into the biryani. The fragrance just explodes. It becomes so powerful, it's like it hypnotizes the entire village. And seeing this total frenzy he's created, Meetha's greed hits a whole new level. He raises the price tenfold to an astronomical 5,000 rupees for a single plate. And the villagers, completely under the spell of this magical aroma, they just lose all sense. They start treating their most valuable possessions, their gold jewelry, their livestock, their life savings, all for just one taste of Meetha's biryani. So there he is. Meetha is just swimming in riches. He's finally achieved the success he's been craving. But, like the Hakim warned him, the magic was always temporary, and the consequences of his shortcut were about to become very, very real. And just like clockwork, as soon as evening falls, poof, the magic vanishes. The villagers snap out of their trance, totally confused, seeing their valuables piled up next to Meetha. And right at that moment, who shows up? Bittoo, with the police. Turns out they'd already arrested the fraudulent Hakim. Meetha's shortcut led him directly to justice. So, in the end, the two paths couldn't be more different. Meetha, the guy who chose shortcuts, deceit, and greed, ends up arrested and with nothing. Bittoo, the one who chose honesty, hard work, and good character, is more respected than ever, with his business thriving. The village sees very clearly which recipe truly leads to success. And that really brings us to the story's central question. It leaves us with a final thought to chew on, right? When shortcuts promise these incredible rewards with seemingly no effort, what is the true hidden cost we end up paying?